Most fantasy managers lose their leagues in the same way. They follow the same rankings, they consume the same advice, they make the same decisions as everyone else. And then they finish fifth. The managers who win leagues consistently, year after year, in multiple formats against the same opponents, aren't accessing better information. They have a better framework for interpreting the information they already have. Today, we teach 3 signals from that framework, and we apply them to the most valuable draft opportunities of 2026. Let's start with why the standard approach doesn't work. Fantasy rankings are conclusions. They tell you what someone else thinks about a player. They reset every Monday, and every manager in your league has access to the same conclusions. The managers who win leagues aren't consuming better conclusions. They're building their own. They're reading the film data before it becomes a conclusion. They're finding the gap between what the numbers say is about to happen and what the market has priced in. That gap is where the value lives. There are 3 specific signals that reliably identify that gap before the market closes it. Here's how they work, and here's exactly where they fire for the 2026 season. Signal 1 is the snap rate and efficiency signal. The principle is simple. If a player is posting elite efficiency metrics on a small number of routes, but their snap share is being artificially constrained by a crowded roster, a developing role, or target competition, the market is pricing the volume. The data is pricing the efficiency. The gap between those 2 prices is the opportunity. Luther Burden III is the most compelling example of this signal in 2026. As a rookie in 2025, Burden caught 47 passes for 652 yards and 2 touchdowns on 60 targets across 15 games. On paper, that looks like a fine but unremarkable rookie year. The efficiency metrics tell a completely different story. Burden posted 2.83 yards per route run in 2025. That ranked 3rd among all wide receivers in the entire NFL with 200 or more routes. Only 2 receivers in the league were more efficient per route than an under-featured Chicago rookie. His target rate, how often he was targeted when he ran a route, was 26.1%, 11th in the league. The constraint was volume. Burden averaged just 41% route share across the season. In the games where he played more than 50% of the snaps, from week 12 onwards, he produced 28 catches for 324 yards at a 76% catch rate. And then, in week 17 against the San Francisco 49ers, he went for 138 yards. In the 2026 offseason, the Chicago Bears traded DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills. The constraint has been removed. ESPN's Mike Clay projects Burden for 75 catches, 938 yards, and 5 touchdowns on 113 targets in 2026. His current ADP prices him as a wide receiver 2. His efficiency data and the expanded opportunity price him as something significantly more. Signal 2 is the hierarchy displacement signal. When a receiver moves from a crowded target hierarchy to a clear first read role, their production doesn't just improve, it often resets to reflect who they actually are as a receiver, not the constrained version the market has priced. DJ Moore in 2025 is the clearest example in this draft class. In Chicago, Moore caught 50 passes for 682 yards and 6 touchdowns on 85 targets. His target share was 16%. 16%. For a receiver whose average target share across the previous 6 seasons was 27%. The gap between 16 and 27 is the entire hierarchy displacement signal. The reason for the gap was simple. The Chicago Bears had DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, and Colston Loveland all competing for targets. Moore, entering his age 29 season, was the most experienced and most expensive member of a passing game that was loading up with young talent. Now he is in Buffalo. Josh Allen is his quarterback for the first time in his career. Allen averaged 27.7 points per game with his offense in 2025. And Moore has a specific history with Joe Brady, now the Bills' head coach. Under Brady as Carolina's offensive coordinator in 2020, Moore had his career best season, 1,215 receiving yards. In 2021, under Brady, he had 93 receptions.
Moore is currently going as the 26th to 27th wide receiver in most draft formats. His historical average says he is a receiver who commands 27% target share in a good situation. He is in the best quarterback situation of his career. That gap between the market and the data is the hierarchy displacement signal working exactly as it should. Signal 3 is the route participation signal. When a coaching staff commits to a player as a first read, when the snap share rises, the targets per game jump, and the yards per route run confirms genuine first read usage, the data confirms the role change before the statistics make it obvious to the market. Colston Loveland showed this pattern in the second half of his rookie season. In weeks 1 through 8 of 2025, Loveland averaged 52% snap share and 3.0 targets per game. He finished the first half of the season as a part-time option. From week 9 onwards, his snap share jumped to 72% and his targets per game rose to 6.4. Now, I want to be precise about the context here. The jump from week 9 coincided with Rome Odunze suffering a stress fracture that limited his effectiveness for the rest of the season. Loveland's expanded role was partly opportunity. It's important to acknowledge that. What the route participation signal told you was the opportunity is real and Loveland is capable of handling it, because the efficiency confirmed the role. In weeks 16 through 20, the final regular season games plus the playoffs, Loveland produced 2.49 yards per route run, a 34% first read share, and 17.2 PPR points per game. Those numbers rank him among the most efficient tight ends in the entire league for that stretch. The full season finished as 12th. The second half says top 3. In 2026, DJ Moore has moved to Buffalo. Rome Odunze's foot concerns are ongoing. Loveland's current ADP prices him as the third tight end off the board, behind Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. The second half data says that gap between his price and his ceiling is significant. Now let's pull the 3 signals together into a draft day framework. Before your draft, ideally 2 to 3 weeks out, build a watch list using these 3 questions. 1. Is there a player with elite per route efficiency in a situation where their volume is about to expand? That's the snap rate signal. Luther Burden is the most compelling example in 2026. 2. Is there a receiver moving from a crowded target hierarchy to a clear first read role? That's the hierarchy displacement signal. DJ Moore in Buffalo is exactly this. 3. Is there a player whose snap share rose sharply in the second half of last season and the data confirmed they were operating as a genuine first read? That's the route participation signal. Colston Loveland's weeks 16 through 20 are the blueprint. The managers who build a watch list using these 3 questions before their draft will be identifying value that the market hasn't priced yet. That is what winning leagues consistently looks like. We've covered 3 signals today. There are 5 in the Fantasy Edge course. The complete framework, all 5 role change signals, 7 downloadable templates for tracking them through the season, and 9 modules covering every aspect of NFL film study for fantasy is in the Fantasy Edge. 1 payment, no subscription, no reset every Monday. The link is in the description. And if you want to keep seeing the NFL through this analytical lens, for the weekly deep dive every Wednesday, the newsletter link is there too. See you next Wednesday.